Hello, guys. We are looking at a very interesting pawn endgame today. White to move and win this. We are one pawn up, as you see, but black pawn is closer to promotion. So it might be some trouble to fix this. But if you can find the winning variation, there's only one as usual, then you will be able to win this, of course. So pause the video now, analyze this on your own, and see if you can find the variation for white that wins this. Go ahead. Okay, welcome back. So we are one step further away from promotion, but of course it's our turn. So if we start moving the e pawn, it turns out we're gonna promote at the same time. But this is of course only leading to a draw, something like this. And then black will start checking. We cannot go to the E file. Instead, we have to go up here. And either way we go, in these three squares, black can check here and get this pawn. And it's obviously a draw after that. Okay, so we cannot start moving this pawn. Then you think perhaps that, okay, let's start this pawn. We will promote this with a check and a tempo win. So let's look at that. If we start moving like this, and if black proceeds with his pawn like this, yes, we are actually in fact winning this. We get a check here. The king cannot move to the B file, of course. Then we will check and get a queen. We can do something like this. And exchange queens, and then we win. So did we solve it then? No, we didn't actually, because black doesn't have to play this variation. We push our pawn, he pushes his, we go again, but now black is not going to move his pawn. Instead, he will use his king to actually attack our pawn. And look at this, he will stop our pawn here, which means we cannot stop his, and this is losing very, very quickly. Something like this. And perhaps we try this. I don't know. This is losing very, very quick. So this is a very bad mistake to start with the D pawn. So basically we cannot start with any pawn, which means of course that we're gonna use our king to stop this pawn. The correct starting move is king to E3. Now we're gonna try to put our king here and then just use our two pawns. They are connected, there's no rush, the black king cannot really touch them. But there are some twerks here still. Okay, we play king e3. If black continues with b3, then of course we have to start to keep on attacking this. But this is a mistake. King d3 is actually not stopping the pawn. This is losing. Black can play king to b4, and it's still blocking our king. And he will be able to get his king down and promote. So after first black move to b3, the king has to come to d2. And when we put our king here, then these two pawns will do the trick. If we do something like this, as you see, he cannot really do anything. And this is winning. Okay. We have to look at one more variation. After we start with king e3, if black, instead of playing b3, plays king a4, we have a different situation. And from here, we have to play something else and have a different strategy. So you can post the video again if you haven't seen this and try to solve how white wins from here. Go ahead. And welcome back. Okay, the plan now for black is to run down with his king and grab the opposition down here to a2. So if we try the same thing as we did before, with just moving our king and getting this pawn stopped, then the black king will come to a2, and after that the pawn will run down, and this is not winning for us. We can at best secure a draw. So we have to find something else. Okay, so after king e3, the king comes to a4. Now it's time again to start running with our pawns. But now this pawn is not coming to the 8th rank with a tempo, so it's wrong to move this pawn. As you see, this will happen, and of course, after we promote, we are not winning this. Black will just start checking with his queen, and we will be faced with the perpetual checks, and this is just a draw. So instead, we run with the e pawn. That's the one, because now the black king has come to a4, and if he doesn't move the king, then we will reach the 8th rank with a tempo, with a check like this. And if he moves the king, well, then we are for sure a lot quicker to promote. Then we will have the chance like this to just give a check, exchange the queens, and then we run with our pawn here to win. And it will be the same if it doesn't move the king from here, but instead moves the pawn. It will be exactly the same. Yes, black will promote first, but it doesn't matter because we promote with a check. King has got to come to a3, otherwise he will lose his queen, or yeah, he can go to b3 also, doesn't matter. He will be forced to do this anyway. And you see, in the end, we win. So that's how you solve this all the way from the beginning. Again, first move has to be king e3. Then depending on if b3 comes, then we will use our king to stop the pawn. And instead, if king a4 comes, then we start running with our e pawn. And we must never touch this d pawn in these variations, because then it will just lead to a draw. All right, thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye.